London's Olympia and Europe's largest Asian wedding show is in full swing, with brides and grooms-to-be preparing for their big day.
So plan is to get married in Lake Como. Budget's about £80,000.
Roughly, I guess, 40k?
About 120, 130,000 pounds.
What? Asian splash roughly twice as much cash on weddings than average.
But it's not as if we are twice as rich as anyone else. In the UK alone, the industry is said to be worth £3 billion a year and rising. That's good news for organiser Manny.
I think in total now the average Asian wedding is about 40 to 50,000 pounds. That's the average. And I know over the last year or so I've heard of weddings spending up to 200,000, 300,000.
Asian weddings, it's just always been a thing. Like, you can see it in Bollywood movies everywhere. You have this really dolled up, like glittery, glamorous bride, and it's really big.
But have we taken things too far?
The question I want to ask, and I hope I don't get thrown out for this, are we losing the plot when tying the knot?
10 years ago, my parents broke the bank to help me get wed in a lavish Sikh ceremony with 500 guests. My marriage didn't last, and I was left feeling like it was a big old waste of money.
We had to spend so much money on yours and dad's nieces. I think it's just too much expense. But it actually made me feel quite, well, it was a big pressure, but you had to go along at the time. And you remember on your wedding, how it was, how I became so ill.
At that time, I tried to save much money as I can. But the other party wanted more money, more money.
Do you feel that it's very competitive in our community now?
It is indeed. It's not how it used to be in the past. When I got married to your dad, we had a very simple wedding. Very simple wedding.
How was yours?
Very simple. 50 people. We went to a small restaurant. We had some food over there. Came back. Next day went on a honeymoon. Just to Scotland. That's it. But next time around, it's going to be a simple wedding for you.
Yeah.
I think you would. Definitely. Okay?
Back at the wedding show, I'm joined by my good friends Mandy and Jaspreet. Like me, they had big weddings costing thousands of pounds.
Actually, just the wedding day on its own was in the region of about £100,000.
But why do you think that you wanted to pay that, or did you feel pressured?
You're doing it for the sake of other people rather than yourself on the actual day.
If we spend a lot, people are going to say they spent a lot. And if we don't spend a lot, they're going to say, is that all they spend?
Yeah. I didn't want a big wedding, but it ended up becoming that way when you're looking at about 300 guests and probably don't speak to more than half of them.
I mean, how do you feel about the money you've spent?
That money's pretty much wasted. You just think, you know, money could have been well spent elsewhere.
Got social media where people are trying to, in a way, get that one capture shot with all their decor and them just stood in front of it. And actually, before you know it, you've spent God knows what, you know, to get that one image.
It's like, I feel like weddings nowadays have become more of an entertainment show rather than actually two people just getting married and embracing their relationship.
Do you think people are losing the plot?
Well, I need to answer this question very, very carefully. Business-wise, I can't complain. On a personal note, yes, it is getting a bit crazy because it's really sad when you hear stories of, you know, people having to take out loans, mortgage on the house, just in order to pay for a wedding.
But how do people here feel about my suggestion that we call time on this whole wedding one-upmanship thing?
You could have a beautiful wedding for a reasonable amount. I don't think it's necessary to spend like excessive amounts of money on a wedding.
You know, you're only going to get married once. You want to make it a very, very special day, but you can do that and be reasonable as well.